The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Oh, it's like I look so forward to this podcast, but then I also don't because it takes place on a Monday.
Yeah, man, Monday morning, pretty rough, but a pretty good episode last night. Yeah.
I thought a very, very good episode. I'm glad that The Walking Dead seems to still be on the right path. Angela Kang definitely still doing a great job with her role as showrunner. And I mean, that credit goes to a lot of different people, not just Angela Kang. But I got to admit, her 2 seasons of The Walking Dead have been great so far.
Yeah, man. She's got this awesome paintbrush, Negan, that she's using, correctly. I don't know why I'd call him paintbrush, but you know what I'm saying. She's got that tool in her repertoire, and she's using him right, man.
She is using him right, absolutely. I think that Negan was one of my favorite parts of this episode, the whole Negan and that douchey kid. So, I mean, that kid's dad was a savior, and he was just basically like Negan's top fan.
Yeah, he was like a Negan fanboy.
I mean,
maybe even a Negan groupie. I don't know. Thank God we didn't get that far, but
Well.
Yeah.
Man, I guess Negan would have said, well, my man, let me take you to this place called the Barn of Pleasures. Hot diggity dog.
Yeah, man, if he had got Negan's rocks off, Negan might not have had to, you see where I'm going.
God, King Ezekiel would have had to been like, I'm going to be out of commission while I get my chemo, but in the meantime, Negan, have fun with our newest member.
Oh, God, that's so sad, man.
It's so sad, sad.
At least it wasn't like HIV or something. Then we would have been like, man, we willed this into existence with the Barn of Pleasures.
Yeah, and I wonder who he got it from. Was it Jerry's tiger?
Who knows? But
Jerry.
Feline AIDS, man, is a very real epidemic. It affects a lot of people and a lot of cats.
Especially in the apocalypse, yep.
Yes, it does. Beggars can't be choosers. But,
True that.
Just watch out for them claws. But nah, man, that's some sad stuff with Ezekiel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes me really sad. So we know he's pretty much on his way out.
In one way or another, I was telling you before the podcast, I've been reading a lot of, theories. Will this end up him going to Commonwealth to get treatment? Will the Commonwealth story arc lead to them finding out more about where Rick is? So there's there's a lot of people gossiping about what, Ezekiel's thing might not be the end of the road. It might be a new start for some more story arcs and a kind of a bridge to the Rick movies.
Man, that would be great if it was.
Yeah, and it could have a lot to do with Michonne's exit as well. So, I don't know.
What do you think? You think like Michonne will go with him to get treatment or something? Or
well, I mean, somebody's got to take him up there. And if Michonne, is chilling with him at this big community and gets wind that, hey, we picked up some blown up sheriff-looking dude at the side of a river, she might go looking for Rick, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. She's out of the show, but we still know she's in the Walking Dead universe. They don't have to kill her off or anything like that.
I know. I feel like she's going to get killed off.
You think she's going to straight up get killed off?
I feel like she's going to get killed off because we don't expect that. And I don't think, from what I've read, I don't think that Denai plans to stay in the universe. I think that I think that she sees and wants a future in cinema. I think she's become a bit of a movie star now, and she's good at it. I mean, just on The Walking Dead, she's definitely in my book for one of the, and that's saying a lot because The Walking Dead has a lot of really great actors. But I think that it goes without saying she's definitely one of the best actors on set, and I think she wants to take that talent more to cinema, focus on that, probably way more money in it.
Yeah, nobody wants to. And I'm not saying The Walking Dead's a sinking ship, but nobody wants to, stick around something past its prime. Which I think it's rejuvenating.
I was going to say,
we both think that, but
I was going to say, I truly believe that, man. Like we've had times. I mean, you listen to our Fear the Walking Dead podcast. Mm-hmm. We're not afraid to call the Walking Dead world out when it sucks.
Yeah,
and I have no reason to say that I loved the last season and this season as much as I did if I didn't. You know what I mean? I have no problem getting on here saying I thought this episode sucked. And I have been I've almost get giddy again on Sundays. I don't know how to explain it. In the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead, it didn't matter what I was doing on Sunday. It had to conclude before The Walking Dead. Yeah. Then it got to a couple of seasons where it was like, I enjoy it. And I wouldn't call it a chore, but it definitely got to the point where I was kind of like, oh, yeah, The Walking Dead's on. I got to watch that.
Right.
And I might even with TiVo it at certain points, but I'll just watch it later. Once again now, I'm sitting here on Sundays and like my girlfriend and I were watching that Mark Wahlberg movie, Instant Family or whatever. It's just something she will really want. It wouldn't be your type of movie. Right. It won't really my type of movie, but my girlfriend wanted to see it and she just watched Us with me. So we watched that. But like even that, I was enjoying it. It actually was a pretty decent movie to be kind of like a feel good family type deal. But, it got through. I was like, Walking Dead's on. Cut it off. Cut it off.
Yeah, man. It's good to be able to really look forward to it, again. But at the same time, with, viewership dwindling, I'm sure Denai Guerrera, just from a career standpoint, she's like, time to go.
Yeah, and you got to think she probably pulled the trigger on this back when the show wasn't doing so hot.
Yeah, that as well.
It's like because in order for her to be gone this season, they had to have come to that conclusion or started working on that well over a year ago back. So, the show probably was on what you and I would consider like the rebound, like it was coming back at the point, so she probably, it might be a Dale situation. Dale, the guy that played him, jumped off the show because, he was kind of pissy with the way they did Frank Darabont, but last minute saw how successul it was and just had a change of heart and was like, no, I want to stay. And they were like, too late. We kind of rewrote your death.
Yeah.
Because, he should have made it all the way to the prison deal. But, which just, makes me really wish we had interdimensional cable so that we could see these alternate universes and, like, different versions of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, man, I'd love to see, like, a Walking Dead What If kind of show, like what Disney Plus is doing with Marvel, like Marvel What If is going to be, even if it was animated, I'd go with that, like What If cartoon scenario.
I think an animated Walking Dead show would be awesome.
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude.
Just completely unrelated to the TV show, like following more along the lines of the comics. And I'm not saying they can't change it up and stuff, but just, because you have that, like with different shows and stuff. You'll have, like the Watchmen, you've got the new series, which seems to be following the comic way more than the movie. So I wouldn't be mad if they were like, we're starting an animated Walking Dead. It's going to follow the comics a little more closely. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Even if it was like motion comics or whatever, you ever watch those? I don't know if they've done them for The Walking Dead. But
I've watched The Watchmen.
Cool. Yeah, the
motion comic.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, they actually had it. My girlfriend managed the library for a while, and she worked at the library for a long time. But she, towards the end of her time there, I went in. She found it when I was like, oh, she's awesome, because she found this Watchmen comic in motion thing and just was like, check this out. I don't know if you want to see it or not, but I know you like the Watchmen, and it was the comic in motion. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, that'd be pretty cool. Definitely the highlight of my Monday night is going to be watching the Watchmen. I fell asleep last night and didn't get to see the new episode, but
yeah, I'll be watching the two that I'm behind on, hopefully tonight. I've also got to watch the newest episode of American Horror Story.
Yeah, our buddy Matt Crowder was telling me that's like the only show right now he's keeping up with American Horror.
Is he enjoying it?
Yeah, he said he's liking it.
I think it's good, man. The first episode or two, I was kind of like, because a lot of the main cast, like The Walking Dead, a lot of the main cast, Evan Peters is not in this season. Sarah Paulson, at least not at this point, are not in it. Obviously, Jessica Lange's not in it. You don't have, what's her name? Her last name's Rabe. I can't remember. Whatever. She's been in a lot of seasons. Just some of the best of their actors aren't in it. But with that said, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, man. Once old Michonne is gone, dude, our original cast is going to be dwindling.
It's going to be down to what? To Daryl, Maggie, and Carol, pretty much, right?
So, yeah.
Because Maggie is obviously coming back. Maybe she'll trade places with Michonne.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to take that like alpha chick role, though. Like Magnus, or I don't know.
Well, she does kind of in the comics, right? Doesn't Magnus kind of step up and kind of lead a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think Michonne's going to get killed, and I wonder now. It makes us think with King Ezekiel's suicide now, kind of, it opens your eyes a little bit more as to why he was on that ledge.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because we thought he just was sad at just everything going on and losing Carol, and now we see that. That just makes that cut so much deeper. He knows his time's limited, so I guess it was at the point where he's like, the hell with it. I'll just go out on my terms.
When it rains, it pours for the king.
I'm gonna tell you, man, that really makes me sad. I've got to say, I think looking back at it, King Ezekiel has definitely been one of my favorites the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Since his introduction, I've really enjoyed it.
No, dude, that's one part that was just cast perfectly.
Indeed, yeah. Corey Payton is so good for that role. Yeah. I think that when he dies, if it's going to be one of those he dies in bed with cancer type things, I think we can definitely expect a tear-jerking scene between he and Jerry.
Yeah, man, that's a hard pill to swallow, dude. Like dying of cancer without any kind of I mean, I guess they have some kind of painkillers maybe to ease him out, but I mean, just, oh man.
I believe at that point I'd be like, just take me out when I get to that point. You know what I mean?
Dude,
don't let me sit here. I don't want to sit here and suffer.
Right. It's just like, it's almost like a walker bite, just put me down and let's be done with it.
Right. Let's just get this over with. But yeah, that's heartbreaking, man. I got to say that was one of my only complaints with the episode, and it's not really a complaint. I just really don't like I don't like the thought of losing Corey Payton on the show, and I don't like the thought of King Ezekiel dying a slow death to cancer.
But, as bleak as that was, man, just awesome Negan stuff this week. Getting back to that full Monty Negan doing his thing, and still like they're not just flip-flopping him back to, okay, we're going to have old Negan again. He's still like growing.
I'm thankful for that, yeah. Yeah, I'm very thankful that they've done that. They're like, hey, Negan is somewhat reformed, but he does retain enough of Negan to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, he hadn't been like neutered, but he's not like a straight up psychopath like he was before, No, and I mean I honestly was just expecting him to kill this kid. I'm just like, when's it gonna happen? Yeah. We knew that point was coming. He was gonna murder somebody, which we still don't know exactly how he got out of that jail cell, do we?
Right, no, because the kid asked him like, how did you get out of that cell? So that's what I'm wondering, like, how did he get out of that cell?
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if Negan had the means to escape the whole time. He just kind of chose, to. Which I know he chose from before to come back and stay in the cell. But,
right.
If he could have got out this whole time.
That would be great character development. I mean, to see that, like, he's had the ability to get, or at least he's had the ability to get out for a while.
Yeah.
And has refused to.
You think it was Father Gabe?
No. Just with his. Whenever there's a show and somebody has a really serious reaction to something when no one's around to watch, I'm like, it should not be them. It's like Father Gabriel. We saw his honest to God reaction when he walked into that jail cell and noticed Negan wasn't in it.
Right.
If it was him, it's like, why did he? Nobody was watching. Why was he? You know what I'm saying? Why did he act that way?
Maybe he was practicing his reaction,
or maybe just in case someone was spying through the window.
I better practice now when no one's around.
I don't know why your Father Gabriel kind of sounds like my King Ezekiel.
I don't know.
Father Gabriel and King Ezekiel are one inside the chamber, inside the barn of pleasures.
They've really been getting inside one another's head, so to speak.
There's been getting inside and head, but anyways.
Anyway. No, man, Negan just doing his thing, man, like furbishing a new, well, not refurb, making a new Lucille.
New Lucille, man. I love that last line, too. I just hate that was the end of the episode, but I love the, let's do this, you big freak, whatever. And I think comic readers know exactly where we're at in the story and what we're building towards. And let me just say, if they take it where we think they're taking it, then, oh boy, hold on to your ass. It's about to get wild.
Yeah.
So we definitely see in the previews for next week's episode, Negan with the Whisperers. Negan is
I didn't see the preview for next week.
I kind of wish they wouldn't have shown the viewers that preview, though, because the way it left off, you thought maybe Negan was just going out kamikaze, just going trying to take out the Whisperers himself as like one last good act. But then you see the previews for next week and see him sitting in their camp, and you're like, oh, well, so what happened to that whole fight thing? But nonetheless, man, some good stuff is on the way because the Negan Whisperers interaction was some of the absolute best part of the Whisperer War. Well, leading up, the Whisperer War isn't technically until after this, but this was kind of the build-up to the Whisperer War.
Yeah, and we might have Negan infiltrating the Whisperers, and now we might have Gamma infiltrating Alexandria.
That's true, yeah.
Gamma, she's getting ready to be used for some nefarious purposes.
That's very true. She doesn't
try to murder, Alpha first.
I was going to say, we definitely see that she's not as, Team Alpha as one would think.
Yeah, well, when you have to kind of murder your sister, that's going to leave you with some conflicting emotions. But she got the big promotion, so, it kind of worked out for her.
Not that Negan wouldn't kill without remorse, but I mean, Alpha really needs to, and I get why she does, but Alpha really just doesn't hesitate. Alpha needs to kind of understand that people are a resource as well. I mean, I honestly felt that her killing that guy was a bit much last night because he didn't call her out or make fun of her. Or, we've had to, like, if somebody was to straight up question her leadership or, run their mouth to her in front of people, I get it. Kind of like her fight with that couple last season or whatever. But this guy just straight up was asking a question, why aren't we? I mean, damn, in Alpha's little settlement, you get killed just, I mean, hell, maybe he just wanted to learn, like, why aren't we unleashing the herd? What's the plan here? And, I mean, straight up murdered him for it.
Yeah, that's how you end up having people rise up and overthrow you. You're just killing people for no reason. Before long, it's just like, well, when, am I next?
Oh, yeah.
Take this bitch out.
I watched the video that was really interesting, the psychology of Negan, like why Negan was so successful. And it said that people like Negan do rise to power, but eventually people like Negan also do get overthrown by their own people for that very reason. Because Negan's problem was, like, Jeffrey, it honestly, though, if you watch that video, it shows you how good of an actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan is, how well he played a bully, because all of the things that he did were things that you see in classic, like, psychology and understanding just how humans interact on an animal level. Like the way he gets in people's personal space is a very animalistic way to assert dominance. The constant eye contact, because you even could see Negan at times where he would follow their eye contact with his head if they tried to look away, kind of like, keep your eyes on me, like,
right.
That's alpha dog type activity. But the problem with Negan was where he also did this punish and reward system where, like, basically, if you failed him, you were punished hard. Mm-hmm. But if you made him happy, you were greatly rewarded. But the problem was just getting rewarded didn't mean you were exempt from punishment.
Yeah.
And that is almost a very narcissistic trait from what I was reading, like basically kind of like parents who keep their kids always at their beck and call because they just never know if they're in trouble or if they're, in their good graces. So when you think that you've made that person happy, you'll do anything to keep that going. Whereas, when you've made them unhappy, you don't want to deal with that punishment. But, just going on to what you were talking about. But yeah, but Negan's problem was he just was too harsh with the punishment at times.
Yeah, dude, that carrot was never worth the stick.
No.
That stick was like getting your face melted or, bludgeoned to death or Jesus Christ.
I just really hope they do a good job of showing us why Negan doesn't get killed by the Whisperers instantly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that they'll be smart and it'll be known like he's their prisoner or something. Mm-hmm. So Alpha will keep him thinking, well, he's their prisoner. He's surely not going to be on their side because, Beta's not going to trust him, but Alpha's clearly going to give him a chance. So we're going to see, man.
Yeah, man. I'm wondering, as someone who kind of knows the roadmap here compared to, viewers who haven't read the comics, I wonder how they're going to play this, if they're really going to take you on a ride as far as, making you question Negan's motives and all this kind of stuff.
I'm really excited, man. And Aaron trying to connect with Gamma. Mm-hmm. I mean, technically she was on their side of the border, right? Because Aaron wouldn't have been on their side because that would be super punishable. I mean, what they're going through right now.
I don't know if like the creek marked the boundary or I don't know.
And so what's she doing? She's cutting up walkers and throwing them into the river, to poison the water hole, basically?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she was cutting them open and dumping them in the creek. Was that like a creek that they were using as a water supply?
Yeah, maybe so.
People are idiots, man. That's like it's a water supply. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I didn't know if she was just like raging out, just to get it out.
No, because remember she told Alpha she needed more. Mm-hmm. She needed another guardian, basically. And then we get confirmation that the tree, all of that's been Alpha and them the whole time.
Yeah,
like we get confirmation she's picking at them little by little.
Yeah.
And what you don't realize is she's stirring up a hornet's nest, though. It almost would be smart if you want to defeat them to just unleash the horde on them.
Just use that nuclear option.
I'm guessing what it is though, once you get them out of there, though, how you can get them back in, Yeah. So I don't know, but if I were her and I really, truly wanted these people gone, I would just unleash the nuke, like you said, on them. Just be done with it. Take them out because all she's doing is building. I mean, people suspect the Whisperers already.
Yeah.
But, but we got Aaron trying to connect with Gamma, and it's like That's why when people were like, have we forgotten how evil Negan was? And how dare we, expect Aaron to forgive Negan? Okay, well, so now Aaron wants Negan executed after he saved Lydia, but then turns around and is trying to befriend a whisperer who, they killed Jesus. Like, Aaron's character's a little all over the place right now.
Yeah, he is, man. He's going through some conflicting stuff. I don't know.
And I really like Aaron, man. So I really hope that I don't end up hating Aaron, because I really liked Aaron's character pretty much from the beginning up till present. I've always thought he was a very underrated character. Ross Marquand that plays him is just an incredibly talented actor and so entertaining. He actually played Red Skull in the Marvel. I almost said DC movies. The Marvel movies. And he also does great impressions. Like, he's great. So, I just liked everything about Aaron up to this point. But then it's like, we need to execute Negan. Yeah. Even after he did have a chance to bash my brains in, which Aaron does not talk like that. So I don't know if I'm saying that. But it's like, hey, this guy is an evil piece of shit. We established that for the last 7 years. But at the end of the day, last night or whenever it was in relevance to he had a chance to completely bash my brains in and go out and be a free man. But instead, he went out of his way to protect me and stand guard while I was blind and get me back to safety. But, let's execute him.
Yeah, they're really doing with Aaron what they did with Maggie and even Daryl to an extent, just for whatever reason, just their character turns on a dime.
Yeah.
And, you end up hating them, and you're just like, it just doesn't ring true to, this character you've been keeping up with for years. No,
and you're like, well, his boyfriend died. Okay, somebody died because of Negan. That's why everyone hated Negan. Yeah. But, he's somewhat reformed. I'm really digging Negan's character right now, man. Like, I'm really digging this. Because, you got to think, too, he's quite a bit older. This has been 7 years since he was in charge. It definitely, because I was thinking when he was sitting on that bus, man, he just looks too old to be considered like a threat per se. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, no, that makes sense though that he would look older because he's been in a cell for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost reminded me of, the governor when he went out on his little spirit quest, his lone trek, and found that little family, and of course. Basically ended up getting them all killed. But
yeah, pretty much got everyone but Tara killed, yeah. And then she eventually died. But that was, I don't know. I thought that whole thing was weird in season, what was that, 4? No.
Yeah.
Was it season? It was season 4. It was season 4.
But at least we didn't take 2 episodes, Negan just, roaming around with his family for what happened to happen.
I really was kind of I was really hoping we weren't doing that. Because, I remember thinking that episode of the governor meeting that family was one of the most boring episodes of The Walking Dead up to that point.
Right. I didn't hate it, but I really was, really dreading, just Jesus, Negan's going to be with this little group for 2 more episodes. And he's not even going to face off with Beta or any of the Whispers until the mid-season finale.
So their pacing is good, man. Angela Kang and the rest of the writing staff and the people behind the scenes. I feel like that was their biggest problem in past seasons, and even back beyond season. A lot of people point to 7 and 8 as kind of the downfall of The Walking Dead, but even before that, again, the governor thing, I just thought that entire episode of just them was kind of boring. Like I said, I didn't hate it, but I don't really care for episodes like that. And it's even when we did have the one of Alpha and Beta, it just felt, I don't know, it was a little bit more interesting, but I was the same as you. And I think that they've learned from past mistakes in the show, and their pacing is much better. Negan had time to get acquainted with them, met that little kid, that teenager, whoever that Negan was with, man. What an idiot.
Yeah.
What a freaking idiot. He really was just almost in a cult mindset of Negan. You were testing me and blah, 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 blah. It was I'm glad he got his face bashed in with a rock.
Yeah.
Seeing Negan walk up and just grab that rock was oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And then fashioning his new Lucille, man. So it's
got the jacket, the scarf. You could definitely tell Jeffrey Dean Morgan felt back in the role of Prime Negan,
yeah,
like putting that on, just had the more kind of like the lean.
Yeah, I bet he was chubbing up, man. There was definitely some like blood flow to his penis, just like the actual actor, man, just getting back in that character. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is an awesome, awesome actor, man, and I really like him behind the scenes too. Like watching all of his behind the scenes interviews.
He seems like a really nice guy.
He seems like a really down to earth. He reminds me a lot of like, you know, just kind of like some of the guys in my family. Just those kind of like, I don't know, just like men. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. He just seems like, I don't know. It's weird. As weird as it is, it feels like Negan would be my uncle. Uncle Negan.
Man, it kind of makes me a little afraid to meet your uncle, your real life uncle.
What's bad is I only have like great uncles, and they're all kind of older. And
so
I have
bashing nobody's brains.
No, I have one uncle who is not. He's my mom's sister's husband, but he is, you know, former PD, and you know, used to have the drug dogs and stuff.
My Uncle Dale, man, I could see him being an older Negan. He's very over the top and would just like yell out weird stuff, and I don't know. He was like an outdoorsy dude.
If anything, I would say Negan would be one of my cousins. Maybe that would be it. Yeah, but yeah, Uncle Negan just has a nice ring to it.
Yeah,
I want someone to call Uncle Negan now.
Uncle Negan.
Huh. Welcome to the Barn of Pleasures, Uncle Negan.
Oh, man, getting a little incestual up in the Barn of Pleasures. I think my incest porn fetish might be rubbing off on you a little bit. That make you a little curious? You have to go investigating a little bit?
No.
Yeah?
No.
You won't regret it, brother.
No.
Brother, getting right back into the incest. Anyway.
Brother.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, yeah, and then we've got the whole Magna... You know, Yumiko.
Yeah, her whole thing.
That drama. That one's kind of a storyline.
I wasn't super invested in that, but I do like Magna. Did I call her Magnus earlier? That might be like a.
I probably did too.
Probably, yeah.
But Magna. I don't know. I like all of them. I like Luke. I like Yumiko. I like Magna. I almost said Magnus again. Magna. I like Kelly, Connie.
Yeah, man.
I like that whole group. This whole drama to me just felt kind of out of nowhere. Like, is this still reeling from her telling her to like, you know, fall back because we're getting overwhelmed by walkers? I mean, is that really why she's going through this whole, like, attitude?
Yeah, I feel like they were just like, look, we need to keep some kind of attention on this little group. That storyline's well enough, you know.
Yeah.
It'll just be like 10% of the show or something. But
my girlfriend's been watching Good Luck Chuck. Was watching. I say has been because she would watch like 30 minutes of it. And she's one of those, she carries her cell phone around the house with her. And, like, if she's doing dishes, she's watching something on Netflix, or if she's, you know, whatever. She's been, but, like, Luke is in that movie. You know, Luke plays Dane Cook's best friend. He's a lot bigger. And it's crazy to see just how much better of a character and just actor, per se, he is in The Walking Dead versus Good Luck Chuck, which was just kind of your typical like mid 2000s comedy movie, you know, something that probably would not work today.
You think there's a universe where Dane Cook got cast as Negan?
I hope not. I don't hate Dane. Like, one of those people where, you know, people used to. I used to really like Dane Cook, and I mean, I know he got kind of fussed at, accused of, joke stealing or.
Yeah.
Kind of is what messed him up. But he also, like, I like Dane Cook. I'm not one of these people that's, you know, once somebody's not popular anymore. I mean, I remember a time, no kidding, where all college kids and hipsters, the people who only liked stuff other people didn't like, loved Dane Cook. He was funny. And then, of course, he goes mainstream, and then they abandon him. Oh, it's too whatever. But I actually used to like Dane Cook, but I'm not going to lie. I did. His movie with Homeboy from American Pie was pretty funny.
I never really
But
watched
Good Luck Chuck,
stuff.
I remember seeing that in theaters, and really the only good thing about it was the fact that Jessica Alba was in it, because that's like my early 2000s.
Yeah.
Heartthrob. Man, gosh.
You ain't never lied about that, man. I remember her on that Dark Angel show, man. I definitely got some good jinx off of her from that. I don't know if you remember that. Like, James Cameron, I think, was an executive producer.
Oh, I remember the show, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
I've always thought she was just super hot. Yeah. And like I said, like early 2000s, all the way up through like 2009 or 10, I'd say. She was easily like my celebrity crush. Now my celebrity crush is kind of a combination. You want to know who my celebrity crush is?
Lay it on me.
My girlfriend and I were talking about it. So my celebrity crush is kind of a combination of Lizzie Kaplan. You know who that is?
Who that is, no.
She is Lizzie Kaplan. She's on. You ever see Cloverfield?
Yeah, I saw the first one.
Remember the chick
like,
that
I
got
hadn't seen it since it was in theaters. But...
Remember the chick that got bit and exploded?
No, I don't remember anyone getting. Someone got bit and exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I saw it in theaters, and that was the only time.
She got bit, infected, and exploded.
I thought it was like a Godzilla's.
Well, she's on that upcoming show, Castle Rock. I mean, what is it? Is it Castle Rock?
Is that the Stephen
Yeah,
King
like
show?
she's the main character. It seems to show in that. Anyway, so her and then Christine Milioti. She played the mom on How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
But those are like my two. So I'm going to show you a picture of them just to so you know who I'm talking about. So that's one of them.
All right. Yeah, she looks familiar.
I just love like the dark hair but here's the Kaplan. Here's Lizzie, which I think they're both married. So, you know, as if I had a chance to begin with. Right. But this is the other one.
Okay. I
like
don't know where I know her
two.
from.
They've kind of got a similar style, you know, going. But yeah, man. But anyways,
I'm telling you, my celebrity crush, my new one, Laura Legends. I just showed you her YouTube channel. She's just like a geeky chick that collects toys and has a toy room and puts it on YouTube. So,
are you hoping that she'll eventually find our channel and fall in love with you?
Well, obviously that's the
that's the plan.
That's the plan, of course. And maybe boost us up as well. She's got about 20,000 more subscribers than we do, so it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt anyone anyway around
right now.
Yeah. But no, shout out to Laura Legends. I was watching her channel like endlessly yesterday.
Go tell her that you heard about her channel here on our channel, and tell her she should do that we should.
69.4 thousand subscribers. So yeah, she's up there, but she's very pretty. Very pretty.
Well, yeah, tell her to go to her channel. Tell her to do a video with us.
I will do it, man. I will, sir. Yeah. No, you're talking to the listeners. I was going to say no. I was going to listen to me, but yeah. Get out there, show Laura Legend some love, and hashtag it the podcasting dead. And yeah,
man. So right now, podcasting dead fans, friends. I hate calling anybody a fan. Friends.
Yeah, we're all friends here.
I'm distracted because JP's girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
got him. This is not the logo that we're selling.
It's not super official.
I'm not against us using it for some shirts
right?
too.
Yeah,
but it is the coolest podcasting dead T-shirt. It's got like these zombie figures eating another figure, and then the podcasting dead. So if JP's lady friend is listening, you are awesome, and she designed that herself, right?
Like on the website, yeah, and she's she gave it to me a little while back, and she's been bugging me for like a week or so to wear it to work. I want to see Justin freak out about it, and I was just like, man, he might like straight up steal it off of me. I mean, it's a dope shirt.
It is a very dope shirt.
It's funny though because these are the podcasts she generally doesn't listen to because she doesn't really watch the show. So she may or may not hear, you talk about how awesome the shirt is.
Well, just let her know. I thought it was.
I
noticed it as soon as you took your jacket off. But yeah, so maybe we might use that as one of the designs because it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and we for the Patreons who saw the post, we had some equipment malfunctions. Probably tomorrow, I'd say maybe we'll do a Patreon
absolutely.
podcast.
We'll have a Patreon podcast,
and we're going to draw a winner for the prize pack we're shipping out. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I say equipment failure, I'm talking like an entire computer and board going out. So
yeah, it was.
Friday we had an engineer in here. Man.
But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming down the pike. Our merch will be on the way. Our Patreons have really been generous, and we've got enough to get a nice little hunk of merch for the Patreons and for just regular listeners. We're going to be doing giveaways on both sides of things, so just know that cool stuff coming down the pike, and not the pike that you're going to get your severed head shoved onto. Just a fun pike with lots of cool merchandise.
That would be a cool podcasting dead shirt because we kind of need two podcasting dead shirts. Like we need logo, we need a logo. I mean, we need one main logo, but then we need like some designs for shirts for the Walking Dead listeners of this podcast, and then others that listen to the other podcasts, maybe they're more into Weird Wednesdays or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, I digress. But super dope shirt, man. I'm
man, it was
jealous.
one of the best parts of my birthday.
And I might just rip that thing right off.
Yeah, that's why I kept telling her I'm kind of worried to wear it to work because he might just jack it right off of me.
Just jack it right off.
And
Yeah,
take my shirt.
I mean,
which might be a fair trade. I don't know. We'll work that out.
I don't know.
We'll work that out. Nothing like a
wouldn't you like to know?
Nothing like a strange hand. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, in that realm, my hand's pretty normal, we'll say then. But anyways, so that, going back to The Walking Dead here. But the whole Magna thing, I really was just kind of like, I have all the storylines going on right now, and as good as I think most of them are, this is one that I'm just not as into. Yeah. But luckily, they don't stay on it too long.
Right. And it's hard to top last week when you straight up had a love scene with,
right.
with them. So you can't top that, and I'm sure it's leading to something interesting. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I like both characters. I like them together. This whole, her attitude is just kind of out of nowhere in the sense of, I don't know. And maybe it's because I had just watched that movie, I had just also watched that movie, Instant Family, where they deal with, this moody 15-year-old that they adopt is you're not my parents and things like that. And this kind of just reminded me of that. But so Kelly had me worried there for a little bit. I thought we were starting off with Kelly's death.
Oh, yeah, dude. Same here.
I mean, I know she has hearing problems, too. She's not completely deaf in the way that Connie is, but she has hearing problems.
She was on The Talking Dead, I'm pretty sure.
But, I mean, what the hell's going on with her?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I felt the same. I was like, man, we're going to lose a newer kind of, B character right here off the bat, man. That's wild.
I think Kelly's definitely going to die. I think between Kelly and Connie, one of the two is going to die, and my money's on Kelly and not Connie.
Yeah, that's probably a smart bet.
And I think that, because, I mean, they've had, I think twice now, they've had conversations between Connie and Kelly talking about, not saying goodbye or, you left without saying goodbye or whatever. What if I never saw you again? Yada, yada, yada.
So definitely some foreshadowing.
Definitely setting us up for one of them. And I think that, Kelly, this also, too, could be like a false sense of security. Like we thought we were going to see Kelly die, but we didn't. So now we think she's safe. I mean, for all we know, she did have that walker reaching really, really close when the intro kicked in. I mean, she might have a bite that she hadn't showed anyone yet.
It's hard to say, man. But
Don't
definitely keeping us on our toes this season.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate to hear that the ratings are at all-time lows. I really just wish people would come back and see what they're missing. Yeah. But there's so many other things to consider, like people that TiVo, people that wait and binge it, people that watch it ahead of time.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I mean, you can watch it, like 2 days early if you're subscribed to AMC Online or whatever their streaming service is. So I'm sure like a ton of the diehards are watching it early, just,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just for the hell of it, so. And I watch it on a Sling TV app, so I mean, I stream it. My viewership doesn't count,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's even still the lowest ratings they've ever had is also still higher than other shows' highest.
Yeah, I want to say it's still the Sunday night's #1 drama. I want to say that because I know like Watchmen is their viewership's dwindling right off the bat.
Is it? So this will probably be the only season.
I don't know if it'll be the only season, man. But I know a lot of people they don't like the whole sort of political agenda it's kind of representing, which I hate like politics like that in media. But man, I'm digging it. It's like I saw the new Terminator Saturday night. It definitely had sort of a leftist agenda, but I mean it was still more good than bad.
You did not go see Zombieland, did you?
No, I haven't seen that. I am saving that. But me and
you're saving that for me.
My pal Lucian, his birthday just passed, so we went and saw Terminator. We're both big fans of that. Even though
was it good?
Well, I thought it was more good than bad. It was definitely pushing some political stuff, but and there were definitely some scenes just over the top, Fast and Furious type stuff, But
man, didn't James Cameron come back for this?
He did, and Linda Hamilton's in it. And man, the opening scene is awesome, dude. The way they address John Connor's part of the storyline, dude.
Right.
It was. Like I said, I thought it was more good than bad. It was far from perfect, and from what I understand, it's tanking at the box office. But there's only so many times you can kick a dead horse, with the Terminator stuff. So.
Yeah.
But no, all in all, man, it was a fun night at the movies.
They're never going to reach the glory of the second one.
Nah, dude, they'll never recapture that. It was a lot of people have compared it to like The Force Awakens, which totally fits because they do kind of take the best elements from T2 and just kind of like, dust them off a little bit, and
right?
Add a little new age pizzazz. But I don't know, man. You can see in the trailer it was a little crazy. Like Linda Hamilton just, Sarah Connor pulls up. She's like 70. Just steps out of a truck with a big old Gatling gun, just pop, 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 pop. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, she just slings a bazooka from over, around her back and just launches an RPG. And you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Like,
it's a little much. But I mean, it was a fun movie. So,
I don't know, man. I definitely want to see it, but I think that's probably one that I'm going to wait and go.
Yeah, if you're not like a super duper Terminator fan, and even if you are, you might be even more disappointed. But like I said, as someone who's been a fan, like T2 is one of my favorites. It's in my top 5 for sure.
Oh, T2 is. Whew.
Yeah, man.
Remember as a kid that scene with the nuke going off or whatever, and like
Everybody
Sarah
just
Connor holding onto the fence, and
dude.
it like just taking her skin right off, and so good.
It was really cool, man. They do start it off with old clips from Sarah Connor being interviewed in the mental asylum. You're all fucking dead. You're.
Yeah.
It was that was a really really cool way to kick it off.
That was I felt like I was hearing Sarah Connor right there. You do a better Sarah Connor than Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably do better Sarah Connor than like Victor Strand.
I hear that Linda Hamilton hasn't had sex in like 20, 30 years, something like that. I read an article.
Too, yeah.
She's just like celibate, just like, I don't need sex. Well, I'm glad you cannot need it. That'd be,
yeah, man.
It's a long time to go without getting a little booty.
Yeah, she's rich and famous, man, and not bad looking for her age. I'm sure she could get about whatever dick she wanted.
Maybe she just got enough of it that she just wasn't entertained by
or
it.
Or coos, whatever her thing is. I don't know. She swings one way or the other or both. But.
Whatever gets her there. We didn't see Michonne any this episode.
No, her and Judith are head to
Oceanside with Luke. Yeah, with Luke, and we didn't see that. I like how we revisited some old characters. We kind of revisited Carl. Mm-hmm. Negan. Man, I thought he was going to kill that kid right there when he started kind of talking about Carl.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he hear that Negan had shot Carl or something?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'd never kill a kid, which makes me think, though. Remember in the season 7 finale when he lined him back up and was going to kill Carl?
Right.
I mean, he might have had something up his sleeve, but I mean, like right before Shiva jumped on his henchman, like he took Carl's hat off, threw it on the ground, and said, "You said I could do it," and he drew back to swing. So was he about to actually do it, or was he, had something else up his sleeve? Because he straight up told him, "I would never kill a kid." One
of those things we may never know. I don't. In my heart of hearts, I don't think he was going to kill Carl, but.
He might have swung right past him and hit Rick. Maybe that's what he was going to do. But then they said what? They heard that he had killed Carl right in front of Rick, or killed Rick in front. No, made Rick cut Carl's hand. You got to think of how long it's been now.
Oh yeah. Now
people
it's
talk
like mythology,
right? It's. And he said, I heard you, chopped his hand off right in front of his dad, and then killed him something. But when he talked about Carl, and then who else was it? We got to go back and. Who was it? Who else did we talk about? It was Carl and an old character that got brought up.
Oh, man.
Merle?
Oh, yeah.
Merle and Carl, yeah. We got to hear about him falling off of the boat or whatever. Daryl saving him, and he's saying, "You dummy, go get the beer." Mm-hmm. Oh, man, it was cool to visit these old characters. Yeah. At times it almost feels like they don't exist, because though I'm loving this season of The Walking Dead and last season, it almost feels like a different show. Like these are different... like almost like these characters leapt into another show and The Walking Dead. So it is nice to kind of go back and hear them talk about characters that we kind of started the show with.
Did you learn a lot about nut tapping?
I did.
Yeah.
I also learned that child needed to get his wrist checked out, because no wrist should pop like that.
That's true. Yeah.
Because when he goes, it's like,
point.
I'm like, no, man, why did his wrist make that? No, you can't. Number one, you can't break the air like you can with take a towel and wet the end and pop.
Yeah.
Hands don't do that. But aside from that, I did. I learned a lot. I love that conversation with Negan, man. I thought that was prime Negan right there. Like
I thought you were getting ready to say, I love nut tapping. Jesus Christ.
You were just going to say, stay away from my nuts.
I hated that in high school because you had guys that would legit walk around like wherever and do that. And, you know, I've told you I had a testicular varicosis. So for me, it was like hurt 10 times worse. But we won't get into my, you know, testicular anomalies, but yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I wasn't nut tapped very often. I can say that.
Man, around my high school, dude, it was a lot of nut tapping going on.
It didn't happen very often.
A lot of nut tapping.
I did get my pants pulled down one day.
Yeah, I got pants.
I got pantsed once, but but it was actually, you know, by a friend, and it was all in good fun.
Was that the last day you wore tighty whities?
Dude, I swear to God, it was.
Dude, am I right on that?
I swear to
Really?
God. Now, granted, keep in mind this was like 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, this is back when you were just kind of getting into like fads and styles. Yeah. Back then, you wore whatever your mom gave you. Yes, no shit.
Oh, wow.
Like, true story. Like, I was very fortunate in high school. I was never somebody that was picked on. I got along with everybody. I was fortunate enough to be able to say I had, a bunch of different friends and just, I had a pretty good high school experience. But yeah, in middle school, I think it was 7th grade, I was wearing these Adidas wind pants, and we had gotten out of gym, and I put them back on, and, I kind of had snuck away to put them back on or whatever. And put my shirt on, and my buddy just come behind me, and I had tighty whities. But it's one of those things my dad told me a long time ago, and he didn't say it quite the same way that they did on How I Met Your Mother. But How I Met Your Mother said you got to steer into the skid, and that's pretty much what he had told me. Like people are gonna treat you based on your reaction to certain things. So like right there, I could puff up and get mad. And, be like, or embarrassed. But instead, I laughed with them and was like, what? Am I the only, and they're like, you still wear tighty whities? And I was like, am I seriously the only one in the room that does? And then most of them are like, dude, I wear boxers. And I'm like, it's just what my mom buys.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I did switch to boxers. But luckily, that was pretty much it. They pantsed me like, you wearing tighty whities? I'm like, yeah, what do you wear?
Yeah, man, I was so happy when I discovered boxer briefs.
The perfect boxers, combination.
They bunch up. They don't give you any support. My boys need a house, and the boxers just did not.
My boys need some security, but you can't let them free roam either. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't squeeze them too tight, but they do need security. That's the thing with boxer briefs, man. Like boxers, like we were watching that movie Us, the Jordan Peele movie, which I actually really liked. Ending could be a little confusing for some, but I enjoyed it. But there's one scene where the dad like goes to lay up on the bed and he's wearing boxers. And I was like, see, in Hollywood movies, they've got to have them wearing like tighty whities under those or something, because right now you'd totally be staring at nuts. Like that's how boxers work. So it's like, that's kind of for me, boxers are like you said, they bunch up, they get a little too loose.
I don't like them. Yeah.
Boxer briefs are the perfect combination.
They are, man. It's crazy, man, what that makes you think of. Like my father, God rest his soul, free-balled every day of his life.
He didn't wear underpants?
Never wore no underwear. No, I don't know if it was just like a generational thing. I don't know, but no. I
had a girlfriend that didn't wear panties ever.
Well, girls get a little more leeway.
She was a little bit more of a free spirit, though, but she didn't. She didn't hardly ever wear underwear.
And there for a little while, man, like going pantyless was a little bit of a fad. I think there were some like bad shots of like celebrities at the time, like Britney Spears or whoever. Oh, in the club with no panties on, and next thing you know, girls are like, oh yeah, no panties.
I left my panties at home.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I think my I just remember a generation before us, everybody wore tighty whities.
Yeah, dude, that was probably the only. I guess boxers existed, but
why white? Though, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would anybody wear white underwear? Like that? Even if you're clean, like, I was gonna say, even if you're clean and you wipe and yada, 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 still, there's anything, even if you have like a little pee squirt out, anything is gonna stain them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, tighty whities were a terrible idea. Tighty, I don't know, tighty blueies, tighty blackies, something with a darker color that doesn't show stain would probably have been a better idea.
Man, if I'm at a public urinal, sometimes I'll pat just lightly on my underwear to make sure there's no residual moisture,
right?
Because the last time I didn't do that, dude, it was at the trade show while you were on vacation, man. I'm putting it up a little quicker than usual because there's a weirdo at the urinal beside me. And I had two big old like piss spots right on my on the front of my pants, noticeable as hell. and I had to just sit down for a little while until things dried up. It was very, very uncomfortable and embarrassing.
What you do then is you take you get some water on your hands and splash it all over yourself, and then you go back like to whoever was sitting in the booth with you, and you go, "Watch out if you use that sink, man. That thing's got some high pressure."
Well, I just straight up told him. I was like, "Dude, I
pissed
pissed myself a little bit. This is really embarrassing." I had a polo on. I untucked it, and I was just like, "Man, it's like the bottom of the shirt is right above the piss stain. It's just low enough." And I was just like, Jesus. But, about an hour it was dried.
How did we get here talking about underwear? Take me backwards.
Oh, you get
not that I have not enjoyed this conversation. I'm just curious how we got from The Walking Dead to...
No, it was you getting pantsed in
high
school.
But how do we get to me getting pants
Nut taps. Nut taps in high school.
Yep, there you
go.
Pants,
yeah.
Okay, I'm like, what part now? If I'm trying to go back to The Walking Dead,
right.
Where did we leave off?
Or reverse engineering, yeah.
But no, the whole. I like you said earlier. I was very glad that we didn't have to watch Negan walk around with his family for like a half a season.
Yeah, dude, Jesus.
Just
Christ.
for them to all inevitably die as we knew they were. I'm glad they basically didn't copy the Governor's story arc for this one. I'm glad they kind of did their own thing. But I'm trying to think. We had no Michonne, no Luke, no Judith,
nope,
no Carol,
no Carol.
And we see Ezekiel, I guess, was going to tell her what was going on.
Yeah.
And then broke my heart, man, the way he flipped the radio off before she came to it. Like,
dude.
Man, some heartbreaking stuff on the way.
Yeah.
I can tell.
It's going to be a somber season.
I think that, and it's hard to believe we've only got, 3 more episodes before the mid-season finale?
I know, man.
Yeah, it was
just comes and goes so quickly.
It does.
So quickly.
Kind of like my sex life.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you which part. Anyways.
But we were talking about even once we hit the mid-season break, we're still going to be putting some Walking Dead content up.
We were talking about that. Yep.
The Watchmen, we can kind of talk about them a little more.
We were talking about that off mic before we got on, that we're going to go back. One thing we're going to start doing that we used to, that we kind of got away from, because we definitely aren't going to drop the other podcasts and projects, but one thing we got away from that we need to get back to is some Walking Dead focusing here. So we're going to start, once the Walking Dead season's out, every Monday you can expect some sort of Walking Dead universe podcast, be it talking about some upcoming stuff with Fear or the new show or
just hanging out in the Barn of Pleasures.
Fan theories or, just a Barn of Pleasures episode.
Homoerotic audio play.
That came out of nowhere, and it has stuck around.
It has, man. It's definitely got some legs.
Everything sticks in the Barn of Pleasures.
You better believe it, man. It's going to be wild if that somehow, turns up to be a thing in, a season of The Walking Dead, man. I think we'd have some legal,
Well, it'd be funny if, they got to a community that had a barn where it was kind of prostitution going on, but they called it, the Barn of Pleasures. Yeah. And it'd be like, son of a bitch!
Dude, there would be litigation involved, man.
I will sue you!
I mean, these podcasts are out there. We can pinpoint exactly when it was introduced.
That's my barn. I don't know you.
Yeah, you stole my story.
You stole my story.
Old Delmar.
Then RUNNLFOFT.
Or no, I won't Delmar. That was the other guy from.
It wasn't George Clooney. It wasn't Delmar.
It was
Pete.
Yeah, it was Pete. Pete. That's right. Pete. Yeah. Secret Window, man. I saw that in theater.
You stole from my kin, who was about to betray us.
God,
you didn't know that then, so I borrowed it till I did know. Yeah. I love that movie, man. I could watch.
I love that actor, dude.
Oh,
Big Lebowski, man. Nobody fucks with you, Jesus.
Oh, he's good in everything. He was in Transformers, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was like the CIA.
Yeah, he's good in everything. Yeah, he is. He's all, even in bad movies, he does a good job.
Yeah, dude.
Everything. And it's weird. We got Delmar in Watchmen.
In Watchmen, yeah, dude. He's another
wearing that really cool, probably very uncomfortable chrome mask.
And he never takes it off, man. He's at home chilling, eating beanie weenies or something. He's still got that mask on.
Kind of like a Rorschach type thing. Yeah, like it's his face.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyways, I think we're wrapping up I think that's a wrap for the podcast. I think we've covered most of the episode. I'm sure there's always a little something. I've read that they've already started with some fan theories on how Maggie's going to come back, which I think is going to be. I'm actually thinking it's going to be refreshing to see Maggie come back. I mean, I feel like it'll bring a sense of familiarity to the show, but I also think Denai Guerrero turning around and leaving is going to take that right away. Yeah. Really curious if that means Judith will be gone, if that means, RJ will be gone. I'm really, again, for the first time in a while, I'm theorizing, I'm thinking, I don't feel like I've thought this hard about what might happen in The Walking Dead since I was trying to figure out who Negan killed.
Right.
Whereas now I'm like, oh man, so if she leaves, does that mean she's going to die? If she dies, then we could keep RJ and Judith, and maybe Maggie would raise them with Herschel Jr. Well, not Herschel Jr. That would infer that Maggie had a baby with her dad, so it'd just be Herschel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm anxious to see. I mean, we haven't seen Maggie, and if she comes in the finale, the way they're saying season 10 finale, that means we have not seen Maggie in a year and a half. I mean, in a season and a half. Because she left on the 5th episode of season 9. So we actually now, I guess year-wise, have been like a year without her, and then she'll show up on the last episode of the season. That means we've been like a year and a half with no Maggie Rhee.
Yeah.
For you or me.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see.
I can't rhyme, so I can't add on to this.
And just let it be.
Yeah.
Until we see.
I got to pee, so we should wrap this up. I did rhyme there.
You did rhyme.
Yeah. But no, I do have to urinate. I'm going to try not to dribble on my pants because these red trousers would show it something awful.
Would they? I feel like they would cover it up better than, say, khaki.
Yeah, maybe.
Dark jeans are God sent when you have that problem.
You like my Joker pants? My red pants?
I dig them, man. I complimented you on the shirt and the pants earlier this morning. I was digging both of them, man.
Yeah, man. Not a bad ensemble.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, so leave us your thoughts and, comments below in the comments section. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you heard. Yep. Find us on Patreon. Help support the channel. We're doing that big giveaway, and we're going to do 2 Patreon podcasts this week. And we're planning to make up for not having one last week. We definitely don't want you guys to feel like we're slacking on you. We straight up had a board we had a computer die, which rendered the board useless. On Friday, and I spent half my day driving between towns to get a replacement computer and had our engineer in. It just was a busy day.
And we are doing our big drawing, so you could become a Patreon today and still be entered to win. A buck gets you in, whether it's $1 or $100 or whatever. Everybody's got an equal chance.
I mean, I'm not saying donating to us $100 a month won't guarantee your victory.
We would We would definitely make it worth your while. Like I said, everybody's in the running equally for that prize pack.
Yes, you
somebody who went that far out would definitely be shown.
If somebody went far enough to do $100 a month, I'd be like, we're going to put together it's kind of like when we sell clients for radio advertising. We're going to put together a thank you package.
Yeah. and by the way, those are going out soon as well. Once we get our merch, which is going to print hopefully this week. Our graphic designer's has a busy little company, but we're in the final stages of that. So lots of good stuff to come.
Lots of good stuff on the way.
Yeah, but no, I can go pee now. We're about to.
Well, you can't go right now.
I mean, I'm not going to go right in this seat or anything, but
yeah, but. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Let us know what you thought. Make sure to subscribe. Don't forget, if you're listening to us maybe on YouTube, but you wish you could download us on iTunes or SoundCloud, whatever. We are available on SoundCloud, all the places that guy with the deep voice at the beginning said. So make sure to check us out. We're probably on the platform you want to hear us on. Either way, we'll catch you again probably tomorrow for a Patreon exclusive podcast. But until then, I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Let me get them nuts. Come here. Let me try the nut.
No, you ain't tapping nothing.
Come on, let me tap them.
No.
Let me tap them.
I told you about my testicular varicosis.
That was good. You seem to enjoy that.
Yeah. I'm telling you for the last time to get some lotion on them fingers, and we might be in business. Yep, yeah, a little coconut oil maybe.
Why is it it's like hitting a brick wall?
Oh, man, I told you I've been augmented.
Jeez almighty, it's like I'm nut flicking a mannequin.